Welcome to the Liberty Chronicles. What is the Third Amendment to our Constitution and why do so few people know anything about it? Well, if you could travel back a few hundred years, you would find that the founders considered the subject to be of vital importance to this shiny, new country they were building. The British, at that time, considered the colonies to be their personal, private property and everyone living here to be merely resources for their military to use at will. A British officer could confiscate your home and property, throw you and your family to the street, and quarter his troops there. There was nothing you could do about it. So, here's a lighthearted story about how several of our founding fathers may have thought about this situation and what they intended to do about it. Enjoy. Once upon a time, in the quaint town of Libertyville, there lived a peculiar group of founding fathers. They were known for their extraordinary ability to mix serious political discussions with a healthy dose of humor. These men, determined to create a great nation, gathered in a tavern to discuss the drafting of a remarkable document, none other than the United States Constitution. Among them was George, the wise and often stoic leader. He was accompanied by his witty sidekick, Benjamin, who had a knack for finding humor in even the direst of situations. They were joined by Thomas, a deep thinker with a penchant for long-winded speeches, and Alexander, a quick-minded wordsmith with a talent for persuasion. As the pints of ale flowed, the conversation turned to the topic of the new government's relationship with its citizens. The founding fathers debated the necessity of adding amendments that would ensure the rights and freedoms of the people. While George advocated for strong federal power, Benjamin always knew how to lighten the mood. "George, my dear friend, what if we add an amendment that specifically prohibits soldiers from staying in private homes during peacetime?" Benjamin proposed, a mischievous twinkle in his eye. George arched an eyebrow. "Benjamin, why would we need such an amendment? Do you foresee an army of mischievous soldiers knocking on every door, demanding a spot on the couch?" Benjamin chuckled. "Well, George, you never know. We must think of the future. We don't want our citizens waking up to find a regiment of soldiers sipping tea in their living rooms, now do we?" Thomas joined the conversation, a thoughtful expression on his face. "But Benjamin, wouldn't such an amendment be redundant? Our Constitution already protects the people from unwarranted search and seizure." Alexander nodded, his quill pen poised over a sheet of parchment. "Indeed, Thomas is correct. However, I can see the value in Benjamin's amusing suggestion. We could emphasize the importance of private property and further limit the reach of the government." Amidst the laughter and banter, the founding fathers agreed that the amendment would serve as a lighthearted reminder of the importance of personal space and privacy. And so, the Third Amendment was born, taking its place among the other pillars of the Constitution. Years later, when historians analyzed the Third Amendment's significance, they marveled at its foresight. It turned out that the founding fathers' whimsical amendment held genuine benefits. First and foremost, the Third Amendment guaranteed that citizens could enjoy their homes without the fear of uninvited guests, especially those wearing military uniforms. No longer would families have to entertain squads of soldiers, stumbling over misplaced muskets or dodging muddy boots. Private homes became sanctuaries, free from unwanted military intrusion. But the true genius of the Third Amendment emerged during times of peace. It created a bond between the people and their government, a bond based on trust and respect. The founding fathers understood that when citizens felt safe and secure within their homes, they would be more inclined to support and defend the nation as a whole. Rumors spread throughout the country of the legendary Third Amendment, often accompanied by whimsical anecdotes. Tales of soldiers camping in barns, seeking refuge in outhouses, or falling asleep in chicken coops became a source of amusement and pride. In time, the Third Amendment became a symbol of the founding fathers' ingenuity and humor, reminding the people of their rights and the unique freedoms they enjoyed as American citizens. The amendment also stood as a testament to the founding fathers' ability to infuse a touch of lightheartedness into even the most serious of discussions. And so, with the Third Amendment in place, the people of Libertyville and the entire nation slept soundly, safe in the knowledge that their homes were their castles, protected from unwarranted invasion. And as they rested, they dreamt of a nation where laughter and liberty reigned supreme. So, the sanctity of your home from government intrusion was foremost on the founding fathers' minds. It was so important that they enshrined this right into the Third Amendment. These days, it seems impossible to us that the government might actually attempt to force people out of their homes so that they could turn your house into a military barracks. But, if you observe all of the shenanigans that government bureaucrats are foisting on us these days, is it so impossible to imagine such a scenario from happening? Food for thought. Anyway, thanks for watching The Liberty Chronicles.